Hello everyone, welcome to PST Channel, Game Story, Movie Style for your busy days. Today we explore one of the most anticipated games of the moment, Death Stranding 2 by Kojima Productions. With incredible scores from critics, stunning graphics, and an impressively complex sci-fi story, this game is a perfect journey for us to take together. Enjoy. Our story begins sometime after the first game, with Sam Porter-Bridges living a life of peace, raising his daughter Lou. He comes home to a small, secure house, its security system projecting holograms of Timefall and BTs, remnants of a world he has tried to leave behind. This quiet life is interrupted by the arrival of Fragile.
Fragile?
Were you cooking?
What are you doing here?
I've been looking for you.
She comes with a gift. Now the daily stuff can be produced by Chiral Printer, like diapers. Fragile, the former head of Fragile Express who once aided Sam with her own Doom's ability and got separated, she tracks Sam's house by Chiral Network of his neighbour. Her overdoing of jump ability has left a syndrome called jump shock. She has come to offer Sam a job and to deliver startling news: the UCA has changed. Bridges has been dismantled. They're old friends. Deadman, the insightful coroner, Lockney the brilliant system engineer, and Hartman the tireless beach researcher have gone their separate ways, and Di Hardman is no longer president. A new entity, APAC 4000, now oversees the Chiral Network, making human porters largely obsolete. Fragile has started a new private venture called Drawbridge, operating outside the UCA's reach, and she needs human porters with dooms, like Sam. Her mission came from a request of new UCA is extending the Chiral Network south into Mexico. The mission is urgent. Deadman is now working in a lab in southern Mexico, but a massive BT territory blocks the way. Mexican cities were wiped out by voidouts after the first stranding, and the isolated survivors fear the outside world. To connect these people and reach Deadman, Sam must face the BTs. He reluctantly agrees, leaving Lou in Fragile's care. Fragile gives Ring Terminal to Sam. It is an advanced model of Cufflink. Amelie's expedition already laid the groundwork, so Sam's duty is activating latest model of Cupid to link the Chiral Network. Sam begins his journey. After completing a delivery and resting, he receives a holographic message from Deadman. He explains that his lab is established to study the earthquakes. It stores the knowledge of gatequakes, tar currents, and plate gates. He also gets the research data on the other side. The lab's researchers were trying to establish contact with the rest of the world, but they failed in all way, because the Earth is shrouded in thick layer of chiralium blocking electronics. But they discovered a strange curtain surrounding by chiralium contaminated area. It's called Plate Gate. The continents are separated by a massive tar belt, and these gates are the only way across. A research robot sent through a gate discovered that it led to the Southern Hemisphere, to Australia. This was the first proof that the world outside America had survived, though they too suffered their own Death Stranding. Suddenly, a gatequake is detected, and a gigantic BT emerges. After Sam defeats it, Deadman contacts him with a personal revelation. He investigated the history of Sam's original BB pod, BB-28. The pod was marked for decommissioning 4 years ago, and Lou's serial number was never in any official database. This means no one can track them. Deadman, who has discovered that he has a beach despite being born from an artificial womb, bids farewell, intending to explore his own connection to the other side. When Sam returns home, his world is shattered. He finds Fragile badly injured, Higgs and his gang attacked, and Lou was gone. Fragile could only jump Lou away to an unknown location before blacking out.
And I couldn't possibly think of Lou like that. There was no way for the two of us to escape together. The best I could hope for was to jump Lou out. Just Lou.
Overcome with guilt, she apologizes. But Sam still sees the image of Lou fading in the empty BB pod. He is consumed by a grief, so he tries to end his own life multiple times, only to be brought back by his repatriate ability.
The best I could hope for was to jump Lou out. Just Lou.
A month later, Fragile invites a broken Sam to join Drawbridge, hoping a new purpose can help him move on. Their base of operations is the DHV Measelin, a massive ship that can sail through the tar itself. Drawbridge is a civilian company supported by an unknown wealthy patron. The crew is a collection of unique individuals. Fragile as commander, Captain Tarman, a doomed sufferer whose hand is phased into the tar, allowing him to navigate the ship, and Dolman, a former spirit medium whose soul is partially stranded on the other side.
No, I am alive, and my own...
Dolman tries to warn Sam that BB pod is empty, but Fragile stops him. Fragile gives Dolman to Sam, hoping he can help Sam to step over his depression. On the way to the plate gate in Mexico, Sam connects to the empty pod and experiences a bleed-through effect, wherein BB's memories are conflated with one's own memories. It shows when someone was desperately trying to escape somewhere. Sam spots a pilgrimage, but this plate gate hasn't connected to Chiral Network yet, so UCA cannot identify them. Sam enters the plate gate and activates Cupid. Returned to DHV Magellan ship, Fragile introduces Charlie, the Drawbridge's patron. He appears as a mannequin and asks Sam to bring Australia into the network. Sam cannot trust him, so he changes his face into John's, the diehardman. John explains the UCA is now governed by APAC. APAC can ascertain public opinion in real time and determine course of action. It leads to adoption of new model, the president of APAC. APAC is private corporation responsible for the operation and oversight of APS, a service provider which enabled delegate day-to-day governance. Although APAC and Chiral Network are built on UCA tech, it wasn't UCA but APAC who made the final decision of linking up Australia. APAC believes that a new plate gate will manifest somewhere within Australia after full Chiral connectivity is achieved, like the gate in North America. After achieved, APAC should have sufficient data to calculate the location of other points of connection between continents. In other words, this mission is to reclaiming a pre-Death Stranding world.
With this information, APAS can then proceed to extrapolate the positions of these landmasses.
Their mission is interrupted by another gatequake and the appearance of Higgs. After fighting off Higgs's ghost mechs, the APAC president contacts Sam directly, tasking him with connecting all of Australia to solve disruptions in the tar currents and manifest a new plate gate. When Sam tells Fragile about Higgs, she can't remember who killed Lou, but she recalls it was the group in red, racked with guilt for sparing Higgs's life on the beach. Sam doesn't blame her for what happened to Lou. He just wants Fragile to look into Lou's past. Fragile finds out that Lou's mother passed away after a C-section. Without a still mother to provide support, Lou was kept in reserve. The one who approved this and the reason for the serial number reassignment are still unknown. The crew's journey leads them to a mysterious girl named Rainey, whose dancing has a miraculous effect. Her steps create a Corefall, a unique precipitation that reverses the effects of timefall, restoring everything it touches to an earlier state. Rainey was accused as the witch who triggered timefall when going outside. She was ostracized everywhere. Rainey had nearly given up on life before Fragile found her, convincing her that her power was needed for the world. But Rainey carries a tragedy of her own. She is pregnant, but her baby suffers from still baby syndrome, a phenomenon plaguing the world where fetuses are frozen in time at 7 months and cannot be born. They theorize that the expansion of the Chiral Network has disrupted the link to a governing upper beach, and that reconnecting the world might restore this balance and solve the still baby crisis.
Unfortunately, removal from the womb invariably results in death.
Sam is then caught in a tarfall and warped to a strange war zone beach called Nirvana. He battles a mysterious soldier and loses consciousness. He awakens on the beach and finds a girl in a chrysaloid shell, whom he brings back to the Magellan. Tarman and Fragile take her out of the chrysaloid shell and check on her body. They find the mark of tentacle triggered by chiral allergies. After trying to mess up with her skin, her body floats. Tarman mentions that this girl connects with the beach during REM sleep rapid eye movement, a sleep while the brain is aware like waking up, allowing tremendous amount of chiralium to flow into her body. Her health is perfect, but a tar-like secretion can accelerate the passage of time on contact. She suffers dooms. When she's floating, she's experiencing the nightmares common among sufferers. Dolman wonders if the realm she left behind to come here is called Nirvana. Fragile names this girl Tomorrow.
I named her myself. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, huh?
Tarman explains that Tomorrow was found in Tarfall area. There might be a passage to the other side there. It's possible to send her back to where she belongs. It's full of tars where chiral creatures can emerge. The crew refuses to send her back. Tomorrow soon disappears from the ship, only to reappear later to save Sam from a BT attack, wiping them out with incredible power. Sam comes to pick Hartman up. He's locating Upper Beach. He can now sleep everywhere with support unit. Hartman is proceeding with the beach's mapping program and provides data to APAC to build a database. He also collects water from various beaches that he visited through his tier. It is required for his collaborator to study the phenomenon. Hartman and Fragile receive strange emails, apparently from Hartman himself, containing sensitive UCA documents about sacrificial BBs used to build the original network. Charlie explains that the new QPID model does not require BBs as catalyst, because Bridget disagreed to produce BB from brain-dead mothers. But Bridget's researchers pressed on their plan. They secured pregnant women as the test subjects into the country from Mexico and were success to produce BBs needed for Chiral Network. 4 years ago, the first Bridges expedition embarked on their journey. A total 10 units of BBs were prepped for integration, including backups. But only 9 were used to lay foundations of North American network. There is missing data about relation between 10th unit and Lou. Sam visits a shelter for former still mothers. One of the mothers, called Doctor, asks to check on Sam's BB pod. She has chiral hands ability as a doom. Her hands can pass through any matter, allowing her to remove BB from a still mother's womb without surgery and safely place it in a pod with minimal distress to the fetus. Sam is diagnosed suffering from persistent complex bereavement disorder. Doctor confirms she cannot treat still baby syndrome. She asks Sam to stop a nearby weapons factory arming those who hunt the mothers. At the factory, Sam confronts Higgs and his gang, but is saved by a mysterious mannequin in red who disables Higgs before vanishing. Sam is pulled into Nirvana again, where he finds the ID card of the mysterious soldier, confirmed that Neil has been dead. He was a porter and doomed sufferer, contracted by Bridges for special requirements. He transported drugs and prohibited goods at Mexican border. His ID card served as key of Bridges' secure installation, issued for special staff dedicated to BB experiments and various other medical facilities, like counselling treatment place. He died in Void Out 11 years ago, the same one Sam survived. Fragile uncovers that Neil's therapist was Sam's wife, Lucy, who had told Sam her baby wasn't his. The secrets of the crew unravel further. During the night, Hartman reveals himself to be Deadman, borrowing Hartman's body for 3-minute intervals from his own beach. He can do that because Hartman got his heart. He confesses that it was he who falsified BB-28's records to give Sam and Lou a peaceful life. At the Still Mother shelter, Rainey's baby is moved to a pod and is confirmed to be alive. When balance between the living's world and the beach is restored, Rainey can give birth. The doctor also checks Sam's old BB pod, revealing Lou's birthday matches the Void Out from 11 years ago, and her serial number was BB00, one of the very first test subjects. The ship encounters the tar current running wild. Tarman loses connection to his hand in tar current, so he cannot control direction. Fragile orders the ship's ascent and opening shield. The Magellan is being attacked by Higgs's ghost mechs. He boards the ship, But Tomorrow easily defeats him, turning him back to a mannequin.
Funny trick you got. What the fuck?
A ghost mech? So he's... what, Mecha Higgs?
Sir, disappointed.
Higgs retreats, leaving a BT to fight Sam. After the battle, Tarman repairs the propulsion system while the women of the crew go to find materials for repairs. The president contacts Sam, warning him that Drawbridge was funded by Bridget's Old Bridges organization, meaning it could be misconstrued as an expansionist effort. Hartman then reveals more about the BB project. The original network design required only one core bridge baby. BB-00 was assigned to this role, but the project failed. Thus, the multiple sacrificial BB model was adopted, and Lou was placed in storage for an extended period, later inheriting the identity of BB-28. Her production year was falsified by the Bridges research team to cover up the earlier experiment. Higgs attacks again, this time with an endless burning frame that injures Sam, who has Repatriate's ability. Tomorrow fights Higgs. He pulls her hairlock and retreats. Tomorrow's time accelerating powers are useless against it, but Rainey's Corefall ability repels the flames, saving him. In the aftermath, Dolman admits that he acts as therapist to help Sam process the loss of his child. There is no BB in Sam's pod. Lou was gone for a long time. Dolman has been operating Sam's Odradic, a multi-function scanner capable of analysing terrain and identifying objects, and shared his flashbacks through that connection. Fragile tells Sam that death cannot tear them apart. Sam will never be alone. Sam is pulled into Nirvana one last time, where he confronts Neil, who lost everything in a war zone town and was helped by a girl who had a mark on her hand. When she was collapsed under the ruins, Neil left her and ran away. After defeating Neil, he apologizes to Sam because he couldn't protect Lucy and Lou. He gives Lucy's memory drive. Sam decides to look into Neil's memories. Neil was interrogated by an officer about being guilty of illegally entering the country. The officer offered him a job in exchange for overlooking Neil's crimes, and refusal was unacceptable. It was the reason he met Lucy, his therapist. He told her about his porter job of carrying brain-dead pregnant women. After the treatment session, she accepted that she was the girl who helped Neil at the war zone town.
The car.
Lucy was in panic when she found out that someone was after her. Neil thought it was a security vehicle, and he would deal with them. Lucy admitted that her baby was Sam's. She loved Sam, and she wanted to end her relationship with Neil. Then Sam is pushed out of Nirvana. Fragile tells Sam that Lucy's memory drive is a record of Lucy unveiling dark secrets on Bridges' researcher's plan, details of brain-dead women brought over from Mexico for BB experiments. Sam cannot forgive Lucy for cheating on him, but Fragile explains that Sam's child was the offspring of the Repatriate, the world's first BB. Lucy knew her baby would be a test subject, so she pretended the child was Neil's to mislead the Bridges researchers. Charlie briefs the crew for the final mission. Fragile commands Tarman to helm the DHV Measelin. Rainey is on radar. Hartman provides the ship's cannon support for Sam. Tomorrow operates the miniguns remotely from the bridge. Dolman looks after Sam, and Sam manages the delivery. The president reveals that connecting Terminal Fort Knot could manifest 3 new plate gates, allowing travel across the lands. As they approach, they are attacked by ghost mechs. Deadman comes to destroy the bridge, allowing Sam to escape and confront Higgs. With support from the Magellan's cannon, Sam corners Higgs. Fragile appears and questions Higgs about Lou. When he doesn't answer, she destroys his mannequin form.
Still as stubborn as ever.
Returning to the Magellan, Sam finds the crew in a deep slumber. The president appears and explains that after connecting the entirety of Australia and bridging the gap between continents, they can unite them in Chyroverse. He admits that he empowered Higgs by building the Ghost Mech army to prompt Sam to seek strength through mutual connections, because APAC is incapable of murder. They want to equip sticks to Sam. APAC's ultimate goal is a zero void-out policy, to unite the world in a Chyroverse, where physical travel is unnecessary, humanity's evolution ceases, and everyone transitions to an eternal existence as souls, overseen by the AI until the end of time. Then, the president reveals his true face. He is called Elder. There was a massive void out in UCA territory. The APAC data center was within that area. A total of 4,000 people, including residents and staff, were caught in the blast. There was no escape for them, or for Elder, but their connection was not severed. The souls of those humans and the APAC servers were stranded on the same beach. They were merged into a new entity called Singular. By utilizing servers on the beach, they can remain connected to the world and oversee or restrict humans' activities to cease the void out. Drawbridge's efforts have guaranteed the emergence of a new plate gate, extending their reach to the next continent. APAC will bridge the gaps between every remaining landmass until all of the planet's scattered continents are joined like they had ever been. APAC can manage every aspect of human existence. Charlie intervenes, revealing himself as Die Hardman. He explains that Bridget anticipated APAC's plan and created Drawbridge. John had been hiding with the Shadow Cabinet, living as a ghost and putting away his body. He was working with Tarman and had Lockney design the new Cupid with the ability to sever APAC's control over the network. He declares that humanity will embrace the true potential of the Chiral Network to build communities, not static prisons. He activates the Cupid, connecting the continents under human control.
Until moments ago, each of you was trapped in an elaborate illusion created by the president.
Suddenly, a ghost in red intervenes. This ghost is not Hartman, it is Higgs. Forking Tomorrow into a chrysalis, he reveals his final gambit. Tomorrow is the new extinction entity inheriting Sam's genes. Higgs analyzed the DNA of Tomorrow's hairlock compared to Sam, showing Tomorrow is Sam's daughter. He plans to use her as a catalyst to crack open Amelie's beach and trigger the last stranding. To connect to her beach, Sam needs a link to Amelie, a photo of Bridget and a pregnant Lucy that he carries. Fragile jumps the DHV Measelin to the beach of APAC, even though she was diagnosed with jump shock. APAC's beach is where the 4,000 souls are stranded, and the Singular beach was created. A massive swarm of BTs attacks the ship. As the Magellan is about to be destroyed, Deadman's soul merges with a giant BT, seizing control of it to fight alongside the crew. Sam confronts Higgs, who admits he was a lonely porter granted power by APAC but was always working towards his personal goal.
Bullshit! Fuck off! You ain't shit!
During their battle, Tomorrow is used to trigger the stranding. Then she's pulled out of the beach and returns as a giant baby. While Higgs sings, he is swallowed up by this giant baby. When Sam calls her Lou, she responds. The BTs vanish, the last stranding is averted, and Lou flies away from the beach. Amelie and Fragile appear, bringing Lou back to Sam. But the victory is bittersweet. Tarman reveals that Fragile has been dead for some time. When Higgs attacked Fragile and Lou, she tried to jump Lou to a safe place. Her car and Ha were separated. The flow of time is different in the two worlds. Fragile died on the other side, but her physical form still endured in the living world. She knew that her jump ability was usable because Lou connected them to those lost souls. She left Lou in their care because she thought she was already dead. When Sam saved her, she couldn't remember. She only knew she had a little time left, and she wanted to spend it traveling with Sam. With the data concerning the tar currents recorded in the Chiral Network, DHV Measelin can retrace their path to Australia in the living world. On the way home, a final flashback from Tomorrow reveals the whole truth. When Lucy met with Neil, she told him that Lou would be used as a sacrificial BB because Lou was the repatriate's child. She asked him to pretend to be Lou's father and keep Lou safe. Neil agreed and planned to take her to Mexico, where he knew a safe route. Lucy gave the memory drive to him. Neil came to pick Lucy up. They got caught by Bridges' guards on the way. Neil tried to protect Lucy, but the guards behind them shot her.
My child. So back the fuck off. Back off!
Neil.
No, no! Check fire! Check fire! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Lucy. Lucy.
Lucy was bad injured. Neil asked the officer to save her, but he called security guards to attack. Neil died, unable to protect Lou and Lucy.
Give me your word.
I give you my word, Neil. I give you my word.
Lucy's corpse was in operation to extract baby. BB00 was transferred to a sterilized pod and sent to separate facility. The corpses of Lucy and Neil were in disposal, but Neil's corpse was necrosis and touched BT. Sam was so sad when he saw the baby was extracted from Lucy's body. He brought Lucy's corpse out of the hospital. Lou was left in the care of the lost souls. Fragile and Neil's souls were part of them. Lou was growing up fast on the other side and got out of her crystalloid shell. Lou is Tomorrow. Neil was the one who brought her out to the living world. Everyone in DHV Measelin wakes up again in the living world. Louise remembers her past, and Sam realizes that Tomorrow is Louise. Now Louise works as a porter. She has grown up and sees the photo of her friends. Rainey has already given birth, and Louise believes they will reunite again.
Never known. They're my window, my sole connection to the outside world. And I know they'll be back again today. And every day, even when we're long gone. Death can't tear us apart. That's why today is another day on the road.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more movie-style game stories. We cover everything from classic RPGs like Final Fantasy to the latest mobile and MMO. Life's busy, so we keep games short and sweet. Get the story without the time commitment, a quarter of the time, all the fun. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.